Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk. In this office, we're here at our Istanbul office with Saffet Kaya. Saffet, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Nice to be here with you guys.
It's just great to have you here. Guys, Saffet Kaya is an internationally practicing architect, previously working for Zaha Hadid Architects and also Frank Gehry. Saffet has also designed some award-winning buildings such as London Aquatics Centre for 2012 Olympics and the famous Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku. And today, Saffet is the founder of Saffet Kaya Architects, and he's been practicing there for the past 5 years, and also the chief architect for Designerturkey. Saffet, it's such an honor to have you here. It's been so long that we have been talking about you, and I was trying to get you sit on that table and have an interview with us. I know it's, you were a little hesitant, but here you are.
Well, watching you and Cameron, I realized I need to step up,
right?
Because I don't have the media character you guys have.
You think
but
so?
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, no, I mean, I think
in general, I'm on my drawing board, staring at
Right.
a computer or in the construction site, trying to realize things.
Yeah.
So this is a different take for me.
With the marketing side of things, but I mean, from time to time, I really want my audience to get to know the kind of people who we're working with, and you are truly an asset for us in whatever we're doing. That's why I wanted to have a conversation with you
I think
today.
it's important to communicate the work to a wider audience. I mean, within an architectural circle, like everybody knows each other because it's such a small circle,
Right.
and we kind of grow up together. But trying to make architectural discourse to be a more wider part of the daily life is important. So it's important that we're doing this interview.
Of course it is. And how long you're in town for?
I think I'm gonna most probably fly out at the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You happy in Istanbul? You like Istanbul?
I love Istanbul because this is where I studied architecture, and I have very good friends. It's the first time I was away from my family,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the city which I found myself and what I want to do with my life. So it's a very special city. At the same time, I think it has such an energy, ongoing energy, and every time I come, it's totally updates
Is it
itself.
inspiring you?
It's very inspiring, and it's that's what I was telling you earlier. Istanbul is like there's lots of pockets. It's such a heterogeneous city, and you can just let's say you drive, and in half an hour you can be somewhere in like a Saint-Tropez, or later you go another part. It's like you're in Barcelona, like in Ramblas. It has different textures. It has different cultural background. People coming together with a tolerant understanding of social life. So that keeps the buzz in Istanbul.
How would you rate Istanbul in the cities that you've lived in? I know you've lived in Los Angeles and London, and you're originally from Cyprus.
Yeah.
But if you are to rate Istanbul from an architectural perspective, right, compared to all the hubs that you worked in,
Istanbul, as I was saying, many cultures come together, and that's what makes it vibrant and very colorful. And you show up and you feel at home. And having its historic background gives that depth and richness. And but like, let's say when you're in Los Angeles, it's kind of out of the way, although it's very comfortable. California is very generous, but it has let's say one dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And London is great. London has, like Istanbul has, its international population, and people. It's very transitional. People come and go, and there's lots of people that you meet with different cultures, which is very enriching. But Istanbul is very unique because I think, it's a cliche, but where the continents meet, you have both European touch and you have both the Asian touch, and that's totally brings another hybrid sensation, and people are very warm. Of course, me being Turkish background and knowing the language totally helps.
Right. I mean, look, I'm gonna ask you a question from a it's a little out of topic, right?
Okay.
But let me tell you this:
We
people
like
know,
to be out of topic.
right? People know my friendship with Cameron,
Okay.
and I know you and Cameron are friends, and you
Yeah.
guys have a long history together. And you were always kind of like a little myth for us because we never actually. Yeah, well, of course, we did believe that you existed, but
Okay.
but
I'm here.
yeah. But when I first met you, I was like, oh wow, so this is Saffet Kaya, because Cameron once talked to me about you when you were working with Frank Gehry.
Yeah.
You caught the tail end of the Disney concert hall
Yes.
in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Years prior to have known you, I have known about that building and I was fascinated. And the building in Bilbao. Just you talk to me a little bit about your experience there, because Disney Concert Hall. I mean, even if you're taking a little bit of a part in such an eccentric project, it must be a different experience, right?
I think Frank Gehry, having been worked and being exposed to the experience, and Frank Gehry was very important in my career, because after following my graduation in UCLA in Los Angeles, and it was the time that Bilbao Guggenheim just completed. Frank Gehry and associates totally changed the landscape of architecture. They proved that how much architecture matters and how much it communicates to people at the same time, that it created a destination, and it kind of put Bilbao on the map, because Bilbao was an industry city in the Basque area, but now it became a cultural destination. So it showed and proved that how much architecture has a effect on as a social catalyst. And so being there when I just graduated, being in the office and breathing the air, seeing how these my mentors, seniors, starting from scratch and creating these man-made worlds was a great experience. And I just went to US to do my graduate study, but then I didn't know anybody. And being given the opportunity, being at the right place at the right time really mattered. And I learned so much on know-how to put having a design intention in your mind, but trying to have the technical capability to put it together to realize a building. It's something I learned at Gehry Associates, which was I always very grateful to be part of.
Then you transitioned into Zaha Hadid Architects.
Yeah, I moved to London in 2004.
In 2004, London. And then there you designed the most notable, the London Aquatics Centre.
Yeah.
Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku.
Yes.
And the Aqua Table.
Yeah. I do products design as well.
Right. You do product design as well. So the Aqua Table, it was the most expensive auctioned piece of table.
Yeah, during its time it was.
Right.
It's because design starts seeing as an art piece, and the prototypes are they were limited. So the first prototype went very high because it was totally introducing something new to the design culture.
Talk to me a little bit about the years you spent with Zaha Hadid herself and the office atmosphere and the design line, the characteristics of the design.
It was so much fun. I mean, Zaha was so much fun, and she kind of attracted people with lots of energy, with lots of colors. It was very international. We have people from all over, and it was very casual, and we wanted to have fun, but actually we took our work very serious.
Right.
And it was I really when I arrived Zaha, I came more like a project architect, like more senior, so I was running my own projects. So she gave me opportunity and taking the risk, and I tried to experiment as much as I can and do the most daring designs. So I'm grateful for that. But it was so much fun and joy.
Of course, I mean, how can it not be?
And I miss her so much.
So, I mean, talk to me about your design line, because Zaha has her, the Zaha Hadid Architects has its own, architectural line, and you have most definitely contributed to that. But when I look at some of the masterpieces that you have created, such as, Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku, right? The kind of lines that it has, and it's the way it is submerged to the landscape around it and everything.
You see, the thing is, we should not exclude all these offices independently, because it was a certain time, and there were certain schools like AA, like which is Architecture Association in London, Columbia in New York, UCLA in Los Angeles. So there was a certain kind of school of thought, and a certain research was going on, and these were actually all in dialogue, these schools, with each other. And even the architectural offices, they were kind of friend offices. They were looking what everybody's doing. It's like a scientific research, and everybody was looking what the other one invented, and take it from there. So I don't think we should just see it excluded the office work from the what's happening during those times. And with the help of the computation, which became more advanced, and my generation is let's say the first generation actually getting out of the flat 2D plan and section elevation to 3D computing and more advanced design tools. So you can see that have this kind of effect, because very easily with computing help, numerically, we were very easy to control what we were designing. Less people, but more specialized people. And we, during that time, we tried to push architecture to its limits with its complex geometry, with its fabrication, with its design. So and so I grew up in that time. So coming from the old school, but actually transforming into this digital design age, I think gave me a very good understanding what's past and where it is leading.
Of course. I was basically going to ask about the inspiration, but you basically told me that it's a cumulative work of different offices and different associations and the cutting edge design and everything. But was there an inspiration for you when you were designing Heydar Aliyev Center? Or what was your inspiration basically?
I'm very interested with landscape architecture as landscape, continuity and fluidity. At the same time, using architecture is more about connecting people and bringing people together instead of making these rigid lines. There's the outside, there's the inside. This is the building, this is the ground. We're trying to break those very established rules. So that's why if you look at it even literally, that the plaza undulates and becomes a building. So you don't know actually where the ground finishes. And where the building starts,
right?
And what is inside, what is outside, or flows into each other. So that totally is a subject that I was interested while I was working on that project.
I mean, Heydar Aliyev Center isn't the only award-winning project of yours. I had a chance to visit you in Cyprus.
Yes.
In Cyprus International University.
Yes.
We had so much fun there. I have to say, how many days did I spend
forever
there?
To arrive there because your schedule was too busy.
Yeah. But when I come there, I mean, it was so much fun. I have to tell you. But also, what I realized were these remarkable buildings that you have manufactured, let's say, designed and built and realized in Cyprus International University, and one of which is the Science and Technology Center that you won the award for here in Turkey for it. It's such an amazing building, and I was lucky to film that building with my drones. I took amazing shots. To
Thank you very much. First of all, I need to give you credit that because Alaattin came and with his expertise of drone using.
I wasn't fishing for compliments, by the way. I was trying to praise.
But you kind of contributed to the recording that, so we get to communicate to the rest of the people who cannot travel to Cyprus. But it's a smart building, and for many engineer faculties come together, and we wanted to make sure something that it goes with the engineering culture, machine aesthetic, and so we exposed the structure, the wires, and what else is interesting about that project, that we wanted to make it energy efficient building. So that's why south facade we use photovoltaic panels which produces energy for the building, and the rest of the campus. And we first time used thermal chimneys, which is a system embedded inside the building that we kind of generate air circulation from cool sunken courtyards through the spaces, and as you know, hot air rises up, so that we keep cool or warm depending on the climate, without actually using mechanical support.
So is it what, like an off the grid?
Well,
it an
it's
off-grid
part of the
building,
grid.
or
Of
is
course,
it
it's part of the grid, because what you can do, you can you produce. Let's say in summer, there's so much
sun,
sun,
right. So
and then you produce a lot,
Right.
and then you use some of it, and the rest you can give it to the campus, or if there's more, then you can pass it on to the grid, and then you can borrow it later. But the other thing is we put another system, mechanical system, so sometimes, let's say if it's too cold, then we have a mechanical system that kicks in to make sure that we always keep the comfort.
right?
So it's like 9 months. It is self sufficient, but and if it gets too cold or it's too hot,
it was definitely
we have an
cool.
opportunity to use mechanical.
Right, it was definitely a cool building. I mean, from every single facade, every single angle, the shape is different. You wouldn't think that it's the same building because it's
Well, that's
you know.
the intention. I think, I think we try to make it contextual. So where whatever is facing, or whatever parameters is surrounding it, we make sure that it reflects on the building.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's very contextual, and I'm very happy that it's been acknowledged, all our efforts, because
Right.
it was a risk, and for me it was to do something like this out of my comfort zone, and I learn a lot, and I am content with it.
In Turkey, we do not have those types of buildings. Believe me, the kind of architecture that you have. First of all, it's standing out. It's really interesting, and second of all, you have realized the kind of buildings that I wasn't even able to see in Turkey, which is an 85 million population country. Now, obviously, your existence within the island, your footprint in the island is pretty much visible. I mean, if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have those types of buildings in Cyprus. The British school that you have designed, the school
Yes,
that you
Nejat
designed.
British College.
Right. I mean, when I was filming with the drone, I couldn't just, I couldn't get enough of the building, because you have the ceilings all glass, but there are nice transitions, and the building is flowing, and it's just, these were just some great masterpieces of architecture that one would be lucky to be within, and one would be lucky to sort of you observe, and it takes you into different dimensions, and you see what is possible.
I think Cyprus or Cypriots are much more into or open to design, because I think they became aware that design actually increases the quality of space and for people's daily life. And I'm lucky to be able to have clients who share the same vision with me, because it's not just architect by itself, but it's actually a dance with the client. So that they understand and they project with you and sponsor it.
All right. Spoiler alert. So there is actually one residential apartment project that we are working called Sense Levent. I don't know at the time of this video, at the time of the air, is it going to be officially launched or not? But even if it is not so, I really want you to talk a little bit about what we're doing and what we're designing, and the kind of contribution that we get from you on the design angle of things.
Well, I want to make sure that I clarify that in this kind of developer projects, which
Right.
Which we don't know who's going to be the end client, and so we need to be very neutral with what we put out there, because if you know your clients, so you know what they're made of and what they're into and their lifestyle, then it's easier. So you can saturate in any other direction parallel with them. But if you don't know, you need to play with more safe ground for the potential client. So within having that in mind, with the restriction of the municipality on that area, we wanted to introduce a design level, a design element, showing that good architecture is not only for high culture buildings, public buildings, but actually it should be in everybody's daily life. and at the same time it needs to be commercially sound. A good design doesn't mean it needs to be expensive, but it's a certain touch. It's with the certain people who studied these have a certain expertise that they can inject and make things, spaces, make people sensational living, that architecture just injection quality. So on that note, I want to say that we with this project, besides the residential units, we wanted to introduce a certain social ground at the top,
Right,
where
terrace,
people, roof terrace, where people come together, socialize, work,
right.
and they can invite a bigger group of friends or have their business meetings. Because as you know, post-COVID, all the working ethic and habits change. People can work from home or from overseas.
So talk to me about some of the key design elements in Sense Levent.
Well, I mean, besides the residential units, we wanted to make sure that we bring nature closer and embedded with the flat. So we try to create small, like a French balcony kind of setup where people can expand, trying to establish inside-outside relationship.
Right.
At the same time, at the top, we create a let's say, roof terrace,
Sky Lounge.
for a common ground for people to come and socialize, and let's say, so it kind of break the routine, and you might want to invite people to your apartment, but not to your actually private unit.
Right.
But
so you can use it as the extension of your house and everything. So I mean, I love it. I love the sky roof.
I think what's important that we kind of give a glimpse, or make people realize people can leave the skyline of the Istanbul from the terrace, because it has a 360-degree view, and good weather, bad weather. I think it's an open air, so it's totally a different sensation. So we're making sure that we make most of what the building offers us.
What is given to us, and that includes definitely the view, which there is an amazing view. Saffet, thank you very much for joining. Obviously, we will be filming more episodes, and there's another documentary that I want to film with you about Sense Levent, where we talk deep into its architecture.
Well, thank you for having me. I think I don't want to talk too much about the project, and that's why I'm a little bit hesitant.
No.
I'm a little bit hesitant because I want to wait for the launch, and I was surprised that you're talking about it. So I don't know how much.
But I don't know
how much. I don't know how much one should say or not say.
Yeah.
I'm very excited and feel privileged to be given the opportunity to work on this project, and we tried our best. And what I want to say that post-COVID, all the working culture change, because people start working from home. It became more efficient, but at the same time, to broke the monotoneness of being always in your flat. It's nice to give another perspective, that you can go up and see the vast view skyline of Istanbul.
Right.
You can invite people, and that's what we try to introduce. It's very central to Istanbul, and trying to have a small kind of outdoor area for people, trying to integrate green, which is very important in this, because it's so highly urbanized, Istanbul, and so much concrete. Trying to bring that closer. I think trying to balance and in this intense metropolitan level, giving people room to breathe, I think is important, and that's the design factor sensation we try to inject in this project.
Right, I think it's going to be a signature building, and I'm so happy you are. It's going to be collaborating with us on this. I mean, that's just.
It's going to be very interesting to see getting realized, how it's going to grow, and I'm sure we're going to learn so much.
Yes.
While we're doing this, and making sure that our design intention realize with no compromises as much as we want.
Of course, because these are the buildings that we want to look back after a few years and say, you know what, we have built and designed this. So the maintenance and everything is very, very important for us, and that's why all the facades of the building, we're picking up materials that are easy to clean, that have longevity, that are durable. because in this level of affordability level, let's say, most buildings have just painting outside, and paintings get deteriorated after 5-6 years, and if you're not using glass facades or different materials on the facades, then your building doesn't have that longevity. And that's why with this project we wanted to push the boundaries a little
I
bit.
think it will.
Yeah.
I think it will come across, or hopefully be a kind of case study, showing another way of looking at things, and because it's kind of have a certain avant-garde side that I'm sure we're going to learn from it, and it's going to be very exciting to be part of.
We'll talk more about it in the grand opening. All right.
Grand opening,
yeah,
or the groundbreaking?
Groundbreaking, yes, and then we have the launch of the project. So we're launching a venue and we're throwing out an event and everything. Oh man, I shouldn't be talking about these things right now.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, yes. So I do have a schedule that I plan and execute these things. But since you're here and we enjoy talking about these things, some things have spilled out. We'll see in the overall edit which parts we keep.
It's good to give some teasers.
Right. Good teaser. Saffet, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been amazing. Hope to see you in the upcoming episodes.
Sure. Thank you.
And yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.